Let's go back for a moment to 2020. This is about a young team with very little history, almost completely off the international radar, a team that was just beginning to compete, with modest results and barely any relevance. But 3 years later, on July 21st, 2023 to be exact, everything changed. Completely. You already know, or at least can guess, what happened that day. The official announcement of the arrival of Lionel Andres Messi. That day, everything changed. In today's video, we're going to show you, using real numbers, verified data, and an in-depth analysis, how much money Messi has truly generated for Inter Miami and for the entire MLS. We're going to break down every source of revenue, every economic impact, and every transformation triggered by his arrival. I warn you right now, the numbers you're about to see are simply massive, so large that not even the club's own executives imagined what was coming. Get ready, because this is not just the story of a signing. This is the story of the most profitable sports business deal in the history of the United States. Messi's arrival in the MLS was not a simple transfer. It was a global media earthquake that shook every digital platform. The official presentation of the Argentine at DRV PNK Stadium was watched live by more than 3.5 million people across different platforms. To put that into perspective, that surpasses the average audience of many NBA playoff games. But the real digital impact came afterward. Inter Miami's social media accounts literally exploded. Before Messi, the club had approximately 1 million followers on Instagram. In less than 60 days, that number multiplied by 15, surpassing 15 million followers. Today, Inter Miami has more than 17 million followers on Instagram alone, becoming one of the fastest-growing sports clubs on social media in history. How big is that? Historic NFL, MLB, and NBA teams took decades to build audiences like that. Inter Miami did it in 2 months. And not only that, the club became the most engaging U.S. sports team account in the world, even surpassing legendary franchises like the Lakers or the Yankees. On TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, the growth was just as brutal. Every post featuring Messi or Inter Miami generated millions of interactions. Specialized digital analytics companies calculated that the media value generated by Messi's digital presence alone exceeds $200 million in free exposure. No player in the history of American sports had ever achieved anything like this. Now let's talk about even bigger numbers. Before Messi arrived, Inter Miami was valued at approximately $600 million, according to Forbes and other sports franchise valuation firms. It was a new team, with limited infrastructure, no permanent stadium of its own, and very modest sporting results. In fact, it was near the bottom of the standings during the 2023 season. After Messi, everything changed radically. Those same market consultants revalued the club at over $1.5 billion. Some projections even place it at $1.8 billion. That represents a value increase of between $900 million and $1.2 billion in less than 2 years. It is the most explosive franchise valuation growth in the modern history of American sports. How is this valuation measured? It's not magic or speculation. It's based on concrete factors: the theoretical sale price of the club, signed merchandising contracts, negotiated television rights, the ability to attract global sponsors, international media influence, and future growth potential. All of those indicators skyrocketed. David Beckham, co-owner of Inter Miami, publicly stated that Messi didn't just transform the club. He created an economic value beyond anything he had ever dreamed of. And the Mas brothers, the other main owners, saw their initial investment multiply in an extraordinary way. Inter Miami went from being a modest franchise to becoming one of the 5 most valuable teams in the entire MLS, competing in valuation with historic giants like LA Galaxy, Atlanta United, and Seattle Sounders, teams that have been in the league for years. Here is probably the most innovative and profitable deal of all. In 2023, the MLS signed a historic agreement with Apple TV worth $2.5 billion to broadcast all league matches for 10 years through MLS Season Pass. It was a revolutionary contract, but it had a problem. It wasn't performing as expected. MLS Season Pass subscriptions were low. People weren't willing to pay to watch a league considered second tier. Apple was concerned about its investment, and the MLS urgently needed a boost to make that contract profitable. Then Messi arrived, and everything changed overnight. Apple TV added more than 1 million new subscribers in a matter of weeks. Global searches for the MLS skyrocketed by 500%, according to Google Trends. MLS Season Pass became an international product for the first time in its history, with subscribers in more than 100 countries. But here's the most impressive part. As part of Messi's signing deal, he receives a percentage of all those new subscriptions. Yes, you read that right. Every time someone anywhere in the world pays to watch Inter Miami or the MLS on Apple TV, Messi receives a commission. It's a business model never seen before in American sports. No player in NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL history had ever negotiated something like this. This deal is comparable only to contracts held by legends like Michael Jordan with Nike or Cristiano Ronaldo with his global sponsors. Messi doesn't just play. He's a business partner. Financial analysts estimate that this Apple deal alone has generated Messi between $30 and $50 million in additional income since his arrival. And the best part is that it's recurring income that will continue to grow as long as he keeps playing. Now let's talk about the direct impact on stadiums. Every time Messi plays, whether in Miami or on the road, the stadium sells out. Teams that were used to selling 8,000 or 10,000 tickets suddenly sold 30,000 or 40,000. Stadiums that had never been full in their history recorded complete sellouts. Ticket prices skyrocketed. A ticket that previously cost $40 could easily exceed $300, $500, or even $900 in some stadiums and premium categories. In special matches such as debuts or key clashes, secondary market prices reached astronomical levels. From ticket sales alone, the MLS estimated that Messi generated more than $250 million in his first full season. But the real impact goes much further. This is where what economists call the Messi tour effect comes in. When Inter Miami visits a city, it's not just the stadium that fills up. Hotels near the venue sell out completely at higher than normal rates. Restaurants in the surrounding areas break reservation records. Airports see increased passenger traffic. Tourists from other states and countries travel specifically to see him play. Independent economic studies estimate that Messi's indirect economic impact on the cities he visits exceeds $400 million. This includes lodging, food, transportation, shopping, and entertainment. It's a multiplier effect that benefits entire local economies. Cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Dallas, and others compete to host Inter Miami matches because they know Messi brings money, media attention, and tourism. It's an economic phenomenon comparable to major Taylor Swift or Beyoncé concerts. With Messi, Inter Miami closed commercial deals that were previously simply impossible. New international sponsors arrived, brands that had never even considered investing in the MLS. Advertising contracts became far more valuable. Deals were signed with brands from Asia, Europe, and Latin America. The club went from being a local brand to a global export product. Sponsors that used to pay $2 or $3 million a year before Messi now pay 10, 15, or even 20 million just to be associated with the Argentine. It's estimated that new sponsors and the revaluation of existing commercial contracts generated more than $200 million in additional revenue since Messi's arrival. Technology brands, beverage companies, automakers, luxury watchmakers, and tourism brands all competed to be linked with Inter Miami. Messi doesn't earn money only from his salary as a player. His real business model is far more sophisticated and profitable. Here's the full breakdown. Base salary, over $50 million per year as an Inter Miami player. Apple TV percentage, commission from each new MLS Season Pass subscription, estimated between $20 and $40 million additional dollars. Club commercial contracts, a percentage of new sponsorship deals signed by Inter Miami. Adidas agreement, a share of the club's global merchandising revenue. Future investments, an option to acquire equity in Inter Miami after his playing career ends. Performance bonuses, rewards for titles won and playoff qualifications. External advertising deals, personal contracts with global brands independent of the club. In total, Messi is estimated to earn between $100 and $150 million per year when combining all income streams related to Inter Miami. He doesn't just play soccer, he's a business partner. His model is comparable to great sports entrepreneurs like Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. Now, let's get to the final number. How much money has Messi really generated for Inter Miami and the MLS? The total economic impact breaks down as follows. Increase in club value, $900 million to $1.2 billion. Apple TV subscriptions, over $300 million in new revenue. Ticket sales and stadium occupancy, $250 million in direct ticketing revenue. Economic impact on host cities, $400 million in local economies. New sponsors and commercial agreements, $200 million additional dollars. Global merchandising, more than $100 million in official products. Media value and exposure, $200 million in advertising equivalent value. Approximate total, more than $2.35 billion generated since his arrival. That figure makes him, without any doubt, the most profitable signing in the history of American sports. No NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL player has generated such a massive economic impact in such a short time. Messi doesn't just play soccer. Messi moves entire economies, transforms markets, and creates value where none existed before. Inter Miami went from being an almost unknown team to becoming one of the most famous and influential clubs in the world. The MLS went from being a second-tier league to achieving global relevance. Apple TV turned its investment into a resounding success. American cities discovered the economic power of soccer. And all of this happened in less than 2 years. This case proves that there are players who don't just transform sports. They transform entire industries. Messi is the Michael Jordan of soccer, the LeBron James of the global market, the Tom Brady of economic impact. His legacy in the United States will not be measured only in titles won or goals scored, but in billions of dollars generated, in a transformed market, and in an industry that will never be the same again. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe for more.